Good evening and welcome to our Poland's primary webinar series this evening. And this evening's webinar is all about everything that you need to teach music with ease. My name's Lizzie Gibbon and I'm the sales manager here in Poland. And what do we have planned for the evening? Well, we're joined here by Dr. Patricia Flynn, who is one of our expert authors on our new music program, which is called Into Music. And Patricia's going to take us through how Into Music can provide literally everything you need to teach music with ease. That's the with ease bit is the most important thing. And then following Patricia's presentation, we'll have a Q&A session, and Karen Wogan will join us. She's our head of primary commissioning. And we can go through any questions that you might have on the program at all with Karen and Patricia. And if you do have a question, all you have to do is just pop the question into the chat box on your screen, and we'll get to as many questions as we can. I'm just seeing how many people are here. There's absolutely loads of you have joined us this evening, so thank you so much for giving us your evening. Do stay online at the end of the webinar, and you'll have a chance to let us know if you'd like to receive an inspection copy of Into Music. But without further ado, I'm actually going to hand over straight away to Patricia, who I think has got lots of really interesting, exciting stuff to show us. Thanks, Patricia.
Thanks very much, Lizzie. I just get this to play from the start, and hopefully everyone can see my screen there. So hello there, everyone, and thanks very much for coming to this webinar tonight. I'm Patricia Flynn, and I'd like to tell you about this new program here. It's a primary music program produced by Poland's called Into Music, and as you can see here, it's from junior infants to second class. I'm one of the authors. And I also work in DCU as Associate Professor for Music. I'm thrilled to have worked on the first and second class programme with my colleague Anne Parcell. And she's a great choral musician and primary school principal. She's the principal of St. Mary's National School in Donnybrook. And she's also the musical director of the National Children's Choir. If you want to hear an amazing children's choir, you should listen, and I'm just having problems moving my screen along here now. Let me get it back. There we go. You should listen to this amazing choir here, which is directed by Niamh Williams. And Niamh Williams has designed the junior and senior infants part of this programme. And she's taught in St. Bridget's National School in Castleknock for 20 years. She's also the director of this amazing choir here. And they've won the Choir of the Year 6 times in a row. So we've packed this programme with loads of songs that you're really going to enjoy singing with your class. And there's also some lovely pieces of music to listen to, as well as great activities and composing ideas. You'll recognise some of the songs, and we've tried to include songs from the musicals, songs like You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile, La 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 la. You've both got your style, but brother, you're never fully dressed without a smile. And also songs like that slightly naughty song, Little People from Les Mis, with the memorable line, and a bee can bite the bottom of the Pope in Rome. We've also included some really simple songs. So you've got those songs that you recognise and you enjoy singing, but we've got these simple songs that are great for teaching tonic solfa, so sol, la, so, mi songs. So you'll find it easy to practice solfa with your class. We've got some very nice ideas for practicing simple rhythms too. If you've ever had trouble finding new Arani Gaeilge for this age group, with some brand new songs. Songs like Milchon in Mastoka for Christmas. It goes a hain, a do, tá milchon in Mastoka, a tree, a car, snowbreak on nu a bra. She daddy na nalak a dog a need, e gettled coordlish na shimmeler dove, coordlish na scammel, coordlish na royalty, daddy na nalak a dog a need, a hain, a do, tá milchon in Mastoka, a tree, a car, snowbreak on new a bra. And we also have this sweet little song about insects going to a party, Kosher na Vehedi, on a topic of bugs and beetles. So I could tell you loads more about those various different components, but what I'd like to do here is to take a systematic look through what's contained in Into Music. And so if we have a look at the components, the overall components, you've got, first of all, the workbooks. So you've got these pupil workbooks, and you can see there's one for junior and infant, so it's combined for junior and infants, and one for first and second class. And then we've got, oops, we've got on a bit too fast there. We've got this second part here. I'm just, just having a problem with the screen here now, but I'm going to move something around. Yeah, there's just something in my way there. So we've got these lesson plans as well. So you've got the pupil books, you've got the lesson plans, and then you have digital activities. So there's a range of digital activities and instructional content. So you've got songs, listening tracks, videos, games, flashcards, all of those types of things at your fingertips with the digital activities. So they're the three main components of Into Music: pupil books, lesson plans, and digital activities. But one of the things we really wanted to make sure we did in Into Music was meet the needs of any primary teacher anywhere in their teaching of music. And the great people at Folens carried out a survey with primary teachers to find out what your needs were. And the first one of these were that it be a complete and robust music curriculum that covers all aspects of the curriculum. But you also wanted it to be easy to use and out of the box usability. And you wanted to include high quality, modern and varied songs, including international and Irish songs, to give this support to primary teachers for teaching things that they might find a little more tricky in the curriculum, such as music literacy, musical concepts, and sometimes composing. And finally, that it would have a thematic approach so that it could fit in with everything else that you're teaching in the primary classroom. So let's have a look at each of those in turn. So the first is comprehensive, robust, covers all aspects of the curriculum. And so you can see here some of the components. So here you have a song, I can clap my hands, and you have a karaoke version of that with animation going on with it. You've got a composing activity here from the workbook, and you can see these prompts here for a storm that begins with these tiny drops and builds into this huge storm. And I won't be able to play, you can hear the sounds of different instruments of the orchestra on this digital resource here. So you've got all the curriculum strands of performing, that's singing songs and playing instruments, and musical literacy. You've got listening and responding, and you've got composing covered. And you've got over 150 songs for junior infants up to second class, and that gives you the choice and flexibility. You might not want to sing every song, and there may be some songs that you really love and you want to use in all sorts of different ways, and other songs that you can choose to do or not to do. So there's lots of flexibility for the teacher there in the over 150 songs that's included. There's audio tracks for the listening and the responding strand, and also there's digital activities. So you've got a comprehensive, robust music program there, and the digital resources include the songs, including all the songs. They're available online, and you can easily locate them by navigating within the program itself. So it's that ease of use that we were looking for as well. So the second need that you have was that it would be easy to use. So the program is easy to use no matter what your musical skill. It's got step-by-step lesson plans. They're easy to follow, and they've got a really clear layout there. There's handily monthly overview, so just at one glance you can see what you're going to be doing for that month. And you've got the digital resources, and they're so easy to find. You can locate them by navigating to the relevant unit and lesson, and you'll have something that looks like this that you can click in immediately to those digital resources. So the third need was for high quality, modern and varied songs. And you can see a list of just a sample of some of the songs here on the right hand side, from junior infants right way up to second class. So you've got lovely songs like Mr. Golden Sun, oh Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. You've got songs in Irish, Bach Machan. You've got songs that you might recognize, Yellow Submarine, lovely Irish song here. This is a great rhythmic Irish song, comes from Cool Car, and it's Coca, Coca, Coca Millish, Coca, Coca, Coca Millish. And it has those lovely repetitive words. You'll find it easy to do with children of this age range. And then there's a lovely song in Chinese that fits in with this rainbow connection theme here. And the lovely aspect of it is it's Chinese words, but they're really simple and that you can teach them to any class. And it has this repeating phrase within it that everybody will recognize. Just to give you a taste of it, it's Hong Chai Mei Mei Yi Ha Hi O, and it's that Yi Ha Hi O which keeps coming back into the song again. There's lovely activities to go with that to take you through the song. So there's a great range of songs. So approximately 150, they're karaoke songs. So you get the audio and you get it also that you can play on your digital whiteboard, and you can sing with the song, with the music or with the words. So you also have all of the songs at the appropriate pitch for children. Sometimes you find songs are either too high or too low in their original version. So we've got them nicely pitched for children's voices. And there's a mix of genres and styles. I think you've got some sort of a flavour of that there. And we also have a nursery rhyme in every unit in junior infants. That's for your cross-curricular work to support the development of phonological awareness. And of course, we have plenty of songs of Gaeilge, as well as those international songs that I spoke about. Now, some of the things that people tell us they find tricky or that they'd love to have more support for are things like music literacy. So music literacy, musical concepts, and also composing are the areas that people felt that they'd like extra support. So let's have a look at how Into Music makes it easy to teach these skills. So just to remind you, you already know this, music literacy is part of the performing strand, and it consists of rhythm and pitch. And if we're just taking rhythm to begin with, you'll recognize this from the curriculum. So these are the pictorial symbols for rhythms: cat, cat, kittens, cat. So that's one beat, cat, cat, two half beats, kittens, cat, or ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. But the curriculum recommends that you introduce children in junior and senior infants to these pictorial symbols for the rhythms. Cat, cat, kitten, cats then becomes, as we move through the curriculum, it transitions to stick notation. But this is just the same thing. This is cat, cat, kitten, cat, or and ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. It's all the same. So you get this transition from using the pictorial symbols to using stick notation to using standard notation. And then if we have a look at the workbook itself, you'll see how that operates within the workbook, and you'll see how that then becomes a spiral curriculum where it's consolidated, it's introduced in one unit, it's consolidated in the next, and it moves through from the junior infants up to the first and second class. So here you've got your cat and kittens symbols again, and you can follow me along with this. If we start at this line here, that's cat, 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 cat. But Cats are just something that are useful for the theme that we might be doing. You might be doing a theme of bugs and beetles, and ants and spiders might be useful then. So it's just giving you those rhythmic patterns. So if we think about this again, we have that top line. Oops, it's gone on a little too fast for me there. We have that top line. That's ants, 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 spider, spider, ant. And then you can see that we begin to move into a transition. So you have your cats at the top. This is in first class. You've got cat, cat, kittens, cat. You can also have witch, witch, witches, witch. You can tell this is a Halloween theme. Knees, knees, clapping knees, which becomes brack, brack, barning brack. Ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. And then you've got this lovely worksheet here where children can perform these rhythms, ant, spider, spider, ant, but they can also invent their own rhythms here and their own patterns. And then we get into second class, and this is a marching theme. And we've got this sense of two-ness in marches, 1, 2, 1, 2, and that can give you those beats, that steady beat, 1, 2, 1, 2, left, right, left, right, left and right, left and right, left, sh, left, sh, left and right again, sh. So you can see how it all develops, moving through all of the different units from junior infants right the way up to second class. The same thing happens with pitch. So when we're thinking about pitch for the infant classes, children learn the difference between higher and lower pitches in a kinesthetic way. So you've got jubba this, so me, jubba this and jubba that, and they put their hands on their head for the high sound, and they put their hands on their shoulders for the lower sound. So me. So that's a kinesthetic approach to show higher and lower. In first and second class, the curriculum specifies that children are introduced to so, me and la in singing using tonic solfa and using hand signs. So here we have the hand signs for so, me and la. So, me, la, so, me. And here we have a simple two-line stave. So, me, so, la. And so they can read the hand signs, they can sing the tonic solfa, and they can write the tonic solfa notes on the simple two-line stave. So we've got, again, a spiral approach to learning about pitch, and that's followed in the pupil books. So you can see here the support for in junior and senior infants. Hello, hello, how are you? Very well, thank you. So each time they're tapping their head or their shoulders while they're singing, and it's a so-me pattern that they're singing. And here we've got the same thing in first class, I think this is. So, me, la, so, me. And it's in this little rhyme. So, me, trick or treat, I want lots of treats to eat. Almost got myself wrong there. So that's trick or treat, I want lots of treats to eat. And you can write that on the stave here, the simple two-line stave. And there's loads of support for teachers and for the children in your class for explaining so me on the digital resources on this two-line stave here. And we've got lots of activities in the lesson plans. So any teacher who's not confident about teaching music literacy, we've really got you covered. One of the things, I think this is one of the most interesting and exciting parts of the curriculum. I really love when it comes to composing. And sometimes it's the word composing that's the problem. It'd be great if we just called it inventing and shaping sounds, because that's all the children are doing. They're inventing their own sounds and they're putting some shape on them. Sometimes when we say composing, it sounds like it's much more complicated than that. But we have you covered with this as well. So this is a simple sound activity. It's on your whiteboard and you've got these pictures and there's sounds that you can play from them, and the children can organize these so they can decide which sound they want to come first, which sound they want to be repeated, which sound they want to end on, and they can create their own individual patterns out of that. So it's a very simple way for them to invent sounds and organize those sounds. This one here is in second class, I think, and it's a Halloween theme. And you can see there's an imaginative approach to thinking about sounds, to creating a story, to telling a story through sound. And you've got these pictorial prompts here for that. Again, we've got lots of support, lots of help, lots of ideas, because a lot of composing is having the good ideas and the structure on those ideas to be able to do a really successful composing class that everybody enjoys. So we know it's important to have a thematic approach at the junior end of primary school, so that when you're planning into music, we took care to include common Asher themes, many of which link to the themes in other Folens programs, such as Starlight, Explorers and Oberlum. So you can integrate things together. Here's a selection of some of those themes across junior infants to second class. So you've got food, about the house, food again, mountains and rivers, the farm to do with animals, zoo animals, weather and birds, fairy tales, mini beasts, animals, the jungle, summer, the sea creatures. And you can see that last one is definitely a June theme that's going on there. So you've got all of these, and they're just a range of them. There's many more themes. But Halloween and Christmas is covered in all of the classes. And the songs, the listening tracks, the listening composing activities, you can teach those at any time of the year alongside any other program that you're using. But the music literacy lessons build and consolidate. So those lessons should be taught within a sequence. So let's have a look at the thematic approach and how that works for a specific unit. So we've picked junior infants here, and it's a unit on weather. And you can see the songs that you have there. So you've got Rain, Rain, Go Away, Over the Deep Blue Sea, Mr. Golden Sun, Clutch and Thornock. So you've got a range of songs there. Now, you might not hear this very clearly because it's a webinar, but just give you some idea of how you might be accessing these songs. So this is Mr. Golden Sun. Let's just see if he'll move on. There's Mr. Golden Sun, and if I turn him on, he may be quite quiet.
Oh, Mr. Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, he shines down on me. Oh, Mr.
Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind a tree. So you can see how it moves. So the line that you're singing comes out bold. You're probably better to go on the Folens website and you'll hear them better on your own computer, because I think the sound comes out as very quiet over this webinar here. But it gives you the idea, and you can see what it is you might be engaging with when you're using this track with the thematic approach. So that's the song singing, and you can then see that we're moving on to listening and responding. And Jafar summons the storm from Disney's Aladdin is the piece here, and it's a very dramatic piece of music, and it's sure to appeal to children. And the children also explore weather sounds on instruments, and also various different types of instrument sounds that can create these weather sounds. If you don't have a wide selection of instruments in your classroom, the digital flashcards that are part of the digital resources are a handy way of teaching children about them. I'm just going to show you a really short clip from that. Now, this does its own thing here once I get it going.
A tambour, or drum, is an instrument that makes a sharp sound when it is hit.
Oops, I needed to, there's a second part there. Nope, it's not going to come up. I think so. You can have the flashcards there will help you. So let's have a look then at the final part of it, composing. And so children compose their own storm sound picture, pulling together everything they've been taught throughout the unit. And you can find all of these digital activities. They're just a small sample of what's available, and you can have a look at the IntoMusic page on Folens where you can view lots of these resources. And this is what it looked like. This is where you'll find them. So you can have a look at the yearly junior infant plans, the IntoMusic junior and senior infants book. There's a sample there, unit 6, and the lesson Rain, Rain, Go Away, and you'll be able to see all of those on the website. Planning then, everybody gets a huge amount of their time caught up in planning. We've tried to make this simple for you. So it's so important and it's so time consuming. So let's have a closer look at how planning for IntoMusic has been made as easy as possible for you to use. So this is a yearly plan. So you've got this detailed yearly plan. You can see the performing here, the song singing, the playing instruments, the theme Myself and Friends in September. You've got a different theme here in October, and you can just look quite right across. It's obviously, it goes on as is a yearly plan. You can look right across. You've got the performing strand here, you've got the listening and responding strand here, exploring sounds, listening and responding to music. You've got the improvising, creating, talking about compositions within the composing strand, and you have the musical concepts that you'll be dealing with across all of these, just at the edge here. So it's great for your yearly planning. It outlines exactly what you're covering in each of the 10 units. Performing, listening and responding, and composing. And you can also see the musical concepts. In addition to the yearly plan, detailed lesson plans for each unit, and the lesson plans include this handy monthly plan. Gives you an overview from the start. So this is your monthly plan. So you can see you've got 6 lessons here. You can see the resources. You can see the musical concepts that you'll be dealing with. You can see the strands that you'll be working within, and you can see the content objectives. The child will be able to do all of these things within those 6 lessons. And then in your individual lesson plan, you've got this almost introduction at the very beginning where you clearly see what it is you're going to be doing. So you can see the resources that you need, the digital resource, and you can see these step-by-step process in the teaching notes. So you can, you'll find these so easy to use, and the individual lesson plans couldn't be easier to follow. Step-by-step notes giving you all the guidance you need. So that's a really kind of quick run through all of these resources here, the workbooks, the lesson plans, the teacher's notes within this, and all of the teaching resources. I think you're really going to enjoy IntoMusic. We had a lot of fun putting it together. It was great finding these resources, as we hope you'll enjoy using it. And we hope you get the sense that you'll have the most comprehensive, robust and easy to use music program available. I'm going to hand you over to Bridget now, and just to say thank you very much. And I hope you've found something there that was of interest to you, and you'll be singing those songs later on during the day.
Thank you so much, Patricia. That was a really, really fantastic run through everything about IntoMusic. I'm just wishing I was going back to school myself now, because I think I would have loved to have used it. I think it would have been great fun. Absolutely fantastic. So thank you. So just to give you, you all a bit a chance to have a closer look yourselves in your own time. That's probably the best way that you can get an idea for yourselves. You can actually check out the people books, the songs, the planning, and all of the activities on folens.ie. If you just search IntoMusic on the main screen there. And actually there's enough material there for you to have a trial pretty much of IntoMusic. There's a good month's worth of material there for you to have a go at. You know, do try it out in your classes and see how you get on. I mean, that's really the best way for you to know in an educated way whether it's going to work for you, but I'm pretty sure you're going to love it when you have a go. Just to give you an idea of how the whole thing comes together, you can choose different packages to suit yourselves, to suit how you want to work in your class. So first of all, there's a print package. And so there are pupil books. And as Patricia said earlier, there's a combined pupil book for junior and senior infants, and there's a combined pupil book for first and second class. And when you either book list or purchase direct the pupil books, complementary with that comes those online lesson plans, which Patricia showed us earlier, and the karaoke songs, the listening tracks, and the digital activities. However, we know that some schools prefer to use just the digital package for teaching music. And that's absolutely fine. If that suits you better, there's no problem at all. What you can do is you can purchase a classroom license, and included as part of that license are all the same things. You get the online lesson plans, the karaoke songs, the listening tracks, the digital activities. But in addition to that, you also get printable PDFs of those pupil book pages. So it's basically the same package, but it's purely digital. So you can choose, do you want to book list the books and have the kids, writing their own books, or do you want to purchase the digital package and get all the same materials, but purely digitally? Okay, so just to give you an idea now, so I'm just going to move away from Into Music very briefly, and just to let you know about our summer specials, our super summer specials that we have this year. And we have a 20% off offer up to the end of June, okay? And that's to cover all of our diaries and primary atlases. Teacher yearbooks, as I said, the homework diaries, Phillips primary atlases. And then we're also doing 20% off class sets of some of our English supplementary books as well, our skills programs like Literacy Leap, New Treasury, and Spell It. So that's a really good opportunity to get some class sets of those supplementary programs in. All of the details of those summer specials are on folans.ie, and you can order them direct by emailing info@folans.ie. So I'll just give you a chance to take that down because it's well worth it. Never get discounts like that otherwise, so that's absolutely fantastic. So you can order those direct, as I say, by emailing there, or you can always chat to your rep either to get those special offers. Also, just another quick note for you as well is that we have another webinar tomorrow evening on a different subject. Jenny Kavanagh will be giving a teacher's perspective on how to use Avalon, our second edition. And the big thing there is really how it can make teaching the primary language curriculum easier than ever. So if you want to come along to that, please do, or do let your colleagues know either. And you can register for that on folans.ie. And then finally, just the final sort of little notice from me, I suppose, is your reps are always available for calls and meetings at any time at all. And that can be, to suit you or your colleagues. So at times, a lot of people want to speak to a rep outside of the school day because we know how busy you are during the school day, and that's no problem either. That can be done. You want to organise samples, any inspection copies of Into Music or other programs either. Just the contact details for all of your reps are on folans.ie, so just have a look there, and sort of bottom right of the main screen you'll find the details, how to get through to the details for your rep for your school. Okay, I'm going to move on now to the question and answers, and we just have a few questions that have come in from people in the I'm going to say audience. Is it an audience when it's on a webinar? I think it is. And I'm going to welcome Karen back to join us here, and Patricia stayed online, which is fantastic. So we've just got a small number of questions. First of all, the first question, and it's probably something for Karen, I think, is when will we be launching the 3rd to 6th class version of Into Music?
That will be launching next year. So we'll have it available for free for schools in 2023.
Absolutely fantastic, great stuff. And what's great is that people can start it now and then they can roll it on then up to the 3rd to 6th next year. So it gives people a chance to get used to it, and then the kids will be used to it as well. So as the kids move through the school, they'll be able to move onto the high levels there. So it's fantastic. Now, this is one probably for either Patricia or Karen, but you can probably answer this one. So somebody's just wondering, are the same themes in both books for teaching junior infants to second class?
So I think Patricia probably covered this a little bit earlier on in terms of the thematic approach. So we have a lot of Ashtar themes. So there will, there's themes that crop up that teachers will be using throughout the year, like for example, mini beasts or animals or at home. There's a certain amount of overlap. So food is covered within junior infants, and within senior infants, Halloween and Christmas are both covered. Towards the end of the year, I think it's holidays or it's the sea and sea creatures. So you'll find kind of broad similarities, across the class levels. So it could be mini beasts in junior infants, but it could be the jungle in first class, but it's still animals. And that's getting, too repetitive. You can't, there aren't that many songs to cover it in cover mini beasts in 4 class levels. I think there's enough of overlap there. We've tried to make it as coherent as possible and as integrated with other programs as we can, but allow for that variety as well.
Yeah.
And if I could say something there, I think if the question is from somebody who's teaching a multi-level class, it's really possible to use the resource for a multi-level class. So, I mean, I think as Karen has said there, like I'm just looking here at the first and second class. And you're starting off with welcome in first class, and you're starting off with our world, and you can see there's similarities there, so you can be working on the same theme, and you might decide that you're doing songs in common with the group, because music is great like that. You can do songs in common, so they might not be precisely the same word in the theme, but they're complementary themes like that. When it comes to Halloween, of course, there, and when it comes to Christmas, but like you've got something like the animals as Unit 9 in first class, and you've got the jungle as Unit 9 in second class, and you can see how they relate to one another. Or you've got the sea in first class for Unit 10, and you've got sea creatures in Unit 10 in second class. So there's a lot of complementarity going on there.
That's lovely, and actually that was the next question. Actually, so that's really interesting. Is how you would use it for multi-class, and it's amazing. You could, at that rate, because you've got so many songs and they're loosely linked, you could actually, in effect, you've got a bigger range of songs to pick from if they're sort of linked in that way. So that's really, really nice. So there's so much to choose from. It's going to be absolutely fantastic for them, isn't it? Here's a question here. Can I order it online through the website, or do I need to contact the rep? So you can either email our customer support team to order online, or you can contact the rep either. They're both just as easy as each other. So yeah, that's the simplest way to say that. And then there's a question here about how much the digital package is for junior and senior infants. So it's charged per classroom, and it's an annual subscription. And so the charge is €100, but we're actually doing some fantastic offers. So it's what I would really say is do speak to your rep, because we have some fantastic discounts in place, and it's really, really important that you speak to your rep to avail of those to get the best value possible for your school. So that's really worth asking. Now, there's some more questions flying in now. Do you need classroom instruments to accompany the scheme? Patricia, that's probably one for you.
Well, it's very nice to have classroom instruments, and I think there's there should be a set of classroom instruments in every class, but you might find that it's hidden under somebody's desk in another class. So it's best to have classroom instruments, and they're things like shakers and strikers, little drums, little wooden instruments, triangles, chime bars, those types of things. There's a lot of great digital resources that will help you with that if you're without some of those instruments. But the best thing is to have those classroom instruments in the classroom. That's where you'll get the best music teaching going on. So where children have hands-on and can handle a tambourine, a triangle, you know yourself, you'd much rather to have it in your hand and playing it rather than looking at it on a screen. The digital resources are great because if you're doing things with sounds, you can use the sounds there, but there's nothing to beat having instruments in your hand.
Absolutely. And at the end
So
of
just one thing as well.
the
I was just going to say as well, just, you know, Patricia, I was just, you know, noticing, you know, when I was looking at the lesson plans today, how many of the lessons do actually involve body percussion and, you know, tapping and slapping. So, you know, people always think it has to involve instruments, and there is that in there, but also as part of that composing, it does involve using, you know, body and vocal sounds. So just to bear that in mind, that's another important aspect of it as well.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what I was going to say as well. Is that, I mean, it doesn't have to be a traditional instrument that has to be purchased. It could be anything that you can bang or make a sound with, and that's what the exciting thing is. I have a question here from somebody saying that they teach 2nd and 3rd class, and they're asking, would you think it would be okay to start with the 1st and 2nd package? What do you think? I'll ask Patricia that one.
Well, I think there's plenty of challenge. There's some really nice songs there. So, and of course, that always depends on your class. The 2nd class program is really great. And I suppose you're probably thinking about what you have done musically with this group in 1st class. No, you were having 2nd and 3rd class, yeah. So what you've already done with them. I think the programs are flexible. I think you certainly could move them around, but of course context is everything, and it very much depends on what they've done before. The songs are really attractive, and you could certainly use those songs with 3rd class.
Fantastic, that's great, it's really good. There's a question there saying how many years does the license last for if you buy the license only? And yeah, it's an annual subscription, so it's a 1-year license per classroom. So that's the answer to that question. I think that's all the questions that have come in now. I think we've covered them all there. But just to say a huge thank you to Patricia. It's been a really interesting webinar. I absolutely love to listen to somebody who's quite prepared to go out and sing in front of everyone. So thank you so much for that. I really enjoyed it. And what I'd love to ask people to do is just to stay online very briefly afterwards, because we've got, as I said earlier, the quick question online there. If you want to either ask for someone who has lots of information to come and chat to you about Into Music or any of our other programs, or if you wanted to ask for an inspection copy of Into Music as well, we can organise that. If you just stay online, and there's a couple of questions that you can just answer to get those things sorted for you. But from us, from Patricia, from myself and from Karen, just to say thank you so much for joining us this evening. We recognise that you're very busy people, and so we really appreciate you spending your time with us this evening. So that's goodbye from us. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.